All good? Hey everybody. Well, here I am, Michael A. Graham, aka Multi-Voice Reviewer. And say, according to my Doctor Who watch here, it's another science fiction review this time. Now, I'm not going to be reviewing very popular ones. I'm going to be reviewing the most... I'm not reviewing a sci-fi series that lasted a long time, like others I heard of. I'm gonna review one that not many people give much credit to, all because the network kept canceling them. So, what I'm gonna be reviewing is none other than Take My Love, Take My Land, Take Me Where I Cannot Stand. I don't care, I'm still free, you can't take the sky from me. First time I saw Firefly, I was pretty much intrigued at how the show goes. Normally I usually like science fiction shows where it involves aliens, time travels, robots, disasters of the future. But this one, I would say it's like a mixture between a Western and science fiction. It is a science fiction Western, of course. So there's no extraterrestrials involved, but how the future's supposed to be in this series, it goes like this. Well, not a long time ago. Would have been today. Anyway, in the future, Earth has been overpopulated. And as Earth has been overpopulated, most of the people from the planet Earth decided to start moving around the galaxy since we all mastered space travel. So we all decided to get out of Earth and start finding other planets that we can colonize. It's kind of like how the settlers were back in the old Western days, where people cannot live in the city no more, so they hook up their wagons and go all the way to the west side. All the way to the west to find a new place to colonize. But of course, the Firefly, people start colonizing in different planets. But two of the most country powers in America were two: America and China. And they formed a military group who calls themselves the Alliance. That's why most of the people in the show, some of them speaks English and others speaks Mandarin. But they only speak Mandarin when they're cussing. Don't ask me, I don't know what I said. Although I do have a feeling I think I said frog jumping SOB. Anyway, during that time when the Alliance was formed, they decided to govern the entire galaxy. They decided to take over the entire galaxy and govern it. And one of the planets, called Serenity, they decided to rebel against the Alliance. And therefore created a huge war between the Alliance and Serenity. And they called the Serenity people browncoats. Kind of like the Revolutionary War, where we called the British soldiers redcoats, or during the Civil War, there was the Confederates and the... forgot what they called the Northern people. Anyway, the redcoats battled against the Alliance, and of course, our main captain here, Captain Malcolm Reynolds, saw his world has been destroyed right in front of his eyes when he started noticing the Alliance won the war because his people surrendered. Now, he didn't want to give in to the Alliance, so therefore, he found himself a ship called Firefly and decided to live among the stars by doing a lot of smuggling jobs and such. So pretty much, Captain Malcolm Reynolds, he's a space cowboy. If you wanna fly, come and take a ride. Take a space ride with the cowboys, baby. Why-yi-yi, yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yo, yippee-yi-yay. I like that song. Anyway, now, Malcolm Reynolds wasn't the only person who witnessed the war going on. His lieutenant over here, she witnessed the war, and she was kind of upset about it, but she got married to the captain right here, who is a navigator and flies his ship. And of course, there's lots of other characters, like, you have Jane. He's like a mercenary who joins with them. Now, he can save your life, but if there's a warrant out for you, he can backstab you and turn you in for the money. But of course, Malcolm Reynolds, he does threaten him. If he starts betraying the people he knows, he would kick his butt. Or just throw him out in the airlock. Oh, yeah. And of course, here's one character, which I gotta say... Now, I'm gonna be splitting hairs about this, folks, but... there is this very beautiful actress. Her name was Miranda something. And she plays this character. Now, her character... she's a consort, more like a space geisha. Now, I know some of you are saying she's a prostitute. No. There's a fine line difference between a prostitute and a geisha. Trust me. Prostitute are just women who just walks up and down the streets or anywhere and, well, lure men for money. Let's just say that. Geishas, on the other hand, they're entertainers. They do more than just a thrill ride. A geisha will offer you something to drink, like a cup of tea or coffee. She'll sing, she'll dance, she'll play instruments right in front of you, and she'll tell you some wild stories that get you intrigued, and even gives you a back rub. And that's what geishas do. You see, geishas do more than just sexual fun. Now, I know some of you are saying I'm splitting hairs, but I don't care. I want to get the facts straight. And for those of you who never seen history or seen a movie called Memoirs of a Geisha, look it up. And of course, we got the adorable member of the group, this girl. Now, one thing about her is, she's a mechanic savant. She instantly knows how to make the machine run. She can figure out ways of how to fix the engine, fix the ship, and knows how to make it go smoothly, and even boost up the power. At least she doesn't say, "I've given her all she got, Captain." Star Trek reference. And then we have the religious member of the group, Shepherd Book. Now, his backstory is a mystery, but there are a few hints in the show that he was once a member of the Alliance. He was once a soldier, but now he became religious and decided to start spreading the words to everybody throughout the galaxy. And he gets along with Jane because he reminds him so much of his old him. Imagine that. And then two of the most delightful characters, Dr. Tam and his sister, River. Now, Dr. Tam, he was once a brilliant medical doctor. He started his career as a medical doctor, and also he loves his sister, River. River had this unique gift. One thing I always been puzzled about is, how special is River? I mean, I don't know if she's autistic like me, or is she has Asperger's, or she's an idiot savant. I mean, I don't know how special she is. But if I was in the show, I would like to study more. I mean, I would like to know more about her to know how special she is. Anyway, Dr. Tam, he starts noticing something is wrong because his sister had been sending him messages. It kind of hint that she needs help. And even though he tells his parents, she says, if you go out there to get your sister, you're going to ruin your career as a medical doctor. But he doesn't care. He sneaks into the Alliance lab area, and he discovered that the Alliance was treating her like a guinea pig. They've been doing a lot of experiments, and they were torturing her and everything. So he was sneaking her out of the Alliance facility and tried to avoid them. Now, Malcolm Reynolds, he should kick him out, but here's the thing. He has a soft spot for River because he understands her. He knows exactly what she's going through because he himself was pushed around by the Alliance and how much he hates the Alliance. So that's why he kept her on board. Now, sometimes she does. Sometimes you don't even know if she's going to go crazy or smart or do something dangerous or something funny. But he still keeps her around because he starts seeing a little bit of him within her. And of course, the mechanic girl, she starts having feelings with Dr. Tam, but Dr. Tam doesn't realize it. For a smart doctor, he is oblivious when it comes to people's emotions. Now, I would have been interested on watching this series, but here's the thing. I was so hooked on DirecTV that I never, I was so busy watching Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and Disney, I never stick around on Fox. And even though they tried to announce Firefly, and they always said what schedule they're going to show, but instead they kept showing the sports. First it was football, then basketball, until they finally show one of the episodes. And sadly, the show itself, they made like 14 episodes of the show before they got it canceled. And the reason why Fox got the show canceled, because of low ratings. No crap, Sherlock! They kept rescheduling how to show the show, but they always kept changing it. It was their fault, not the creators. And Josh Whedon, that's right, the Josh Whedon who made the show, who also made Buffy the Vampire Slayer and other things, he made the show. And one thing I gotta say, the chemistry between Malcolm Reynolds and this consort girl, deep inside they do love each other, but it's their reputation that keeps them arguing every single time. Now, some people would like to see them together, but to me and most of the fans, we like to see them argue, because it's a lot more fun seeing them argue like that. Now, the Alliance isn't the only group of people that they need a fear of. There's also a group of cannibalistic, monstrous people who calls themselves the Reavers. Now, what are the Reavers? Cannibalistic beasts. Well, just like what she said here, they would rape, kill, and eat you. And if you're lucky, they do it all at you at the same time. They're that bad. Remind me never meet one of them. Ugh. And of course, there are also some other bad guys they dealt with. But sadly, the show didn't last long enough to continue the series, so therefore, Firefly will be nothing more but a memory. But not for long! Because Josh Whedon decided to make a deal with Universal, and he decided to make the movie of Firefly, Serenity. Now, unlike the TV series, Serenity itself, it was awesome. They did a pretty good job. They have a new bounty hunter who's going after them, and somehow the Alliance keep sending hidden messages to River Song. It always triggers her her deadly instincts, so she got all kung fu on them. And then all of a sudden, the movie came down into a war between, became a straight-up war between the Reavers and the Alliance. Oh yeah, spoiler alert on the movie. Yeah, I had to give spoiler alert. The driver and Shepherd Book gets killed in the movie. So we'll never know about his background. And while Malcolm Reynolds is dealing with that bounty hunter, most of the crew from Firefly, they were surrounded by the Reavers. And they can't keep the fight going because they're almost out of ammo. So, what River did, she took the weapons and run into that pile full of Reavers. Now they thought she was dead, but she just takes the blade and go... while the Reavers are going all... And now, they decided to end the movie where this time River becomes the driver. And you know, here's another problem. Josh Whedon was planning to make a sequel and also a third movie about it, but they canceled it. What a bag of... But here's something really surprising. Even though Firefly is gone, but not forgotten. Because it turns out, one of the comic book creators, who is also a huge fan of Firefly, they decided to continue on the Firefly legacy for the fans. So, they made a series of comic books of Serenity. So, go to your latest comic book store and get yourself some of these copies. And there's also Firefly Class 03K64. That was from the Comic Book Free Day. But it is kind of neat to see all these characters in comic book designs. Now, one thing I have to say, Josh, the man they call Josh, from outlaws and shepherds and gave them what for. They tried to cancel the show, but that's their loss. The creator of Firefly, the man they call Josh. Now here's a couple of things I would like to add. Now, I don't know if some of you have watched Big Bang Theory. I watched it, and if any of you are wondering if I'm going to review Big Bang Theory, in due time. But there's one thing I do have a problem with. That one character named Sheldon Cooper, he wishes for Firefly to continue on, and wishes Babylon 5 to be canceled. While all the other guys, they want to watch Babylon 5. Now, I only saw one episode, and it was the pilot episode of Babylon 5. It is pretty interesting. And for those of you who don't know what it's about, it's like, what if the Earth is being like the bad guys and the aliens are trying to keep the peace? Or something like that. That's what Babylon 5 is about. And of course, when they were singing that song about Josh, it says, it's clever than Shrek, and it's funnier than Shrek, and Miss Andromeda by mile. Now, I've watched Andromeda. Of course, I haven't watched the entire series of Andromeda. I just saw some of the episodes were interesting. One thing I have to say, this is Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. Created by the same guy who made Star Trek. And you know me, I'm a huge Trekkian besides a Whovian. So, I may do a review of Andromeda one of these days. Heck, I downloaded all the episodes. So, I have nothing against Andromeda or Babylon 5, but I think that Firefly, it deserves a continuing. I mean, it deserves to be continued. Maybe take the comic books and probably make a animated series out of it. Who knows? Well, this is Michael Grimm, aka, well, Michael A. Grimm, aka Multi-Voice Reviewer. Oh, and by the way, guess what? I'm IMDb! I've been doing some audio dramas on, fan-made audio dramas of Doctor Who, and now I'm on IMDb, sucker! Anyway, this is Michael A. Grimm, aka Multi-Voice Reviewer, telling you all. Oh, and some of you are wondering, what's my next review going to be? Well, I'm going to review a movie starring one of the actors that I met in person, and also got an autograph from him. And it's Norm Macdonald's Dirty Work. So, adonzi!